Okay, so Lee Chin is hitting the campaign trail this week as part of Now TV's Hurl versus Hurley campaign, which will see the nation vote on what is the definitive term for a hurler's most prized possession. The result of the poll will be revealed to the public on November 12th. And to have your say, visit hurlvhurley.com. That is hurlvhurley.com, where you can cast your vote right now. Lee, how are you getting on?
Yeah, I'm not too bad on, thanks.
I think if we could see a little bit below in the t-shirts, you'd be able to see that you are voting Hurl. I'm pretty sure, yes, Hurl is what you're voting for. Why Hurl? Why is this something that you've always said? Was there a big awakening at some point in your life, or is this non-negotiable on your front?
No, on my front, it's non-negotiable for me. It's well, since I've been a kid, since I've been young, traditionally in Wexford, it's been a hurl. There's nobody in Wexford that I know that uses the term hurley. I'm not sure about other parts of Leinster as such, but I'm pretty sure that a lot of Leinster refer to it as a hurl. I know Munster's a bit different and refer to it as a hurley, but traditionally here in Wexford, for me, it's always been a hurl.
Because Seamus Callanan's on the other side of this. He is obviously saying Hurley, so it probably is just a Munster-Leinster divide, is it?
I'm pretty sure that it is. Not sure about other parts of the country. And I'm not even sure if it's every county in Leinster or Munster which they refer to it as a hurl or a hurley. But I just know at Wexford and my own people, it's always been a hurl.
Brian Cody also says hurl, which is a fairly definitive thing, a fairly good person to have on your side in this. What does Davy call it?
Hurl.
Oh, does he?
I'm gonna say hurl. I think Hurley. I think he actually uses both terms. Maybe when he was I suppose in Clare. Maybe when he's in Clare, it's Hurley, but when he's in Wexford, he uses the term hurl.
He's learned the language so after going over to Wexford. What have the last couple of days been likely as a Wexford hurler? I presume it hasn't been easy. Like, have you put perspective on what happened on Saturday, or what have the last couple of days been like?
Yeah, they've been tough on. Yeah, obviously it's nothing that we anticipated. It's not that we went out to play the way we did. And obviously it's been a long time since we hurled, and we were just so anxious to get out in the field and get in the championship mode. And just look at things didn't go to plan on the day. It was the last couple of days have been tough. We wanted obviously to put in a better performance than that. And I don't think we done ourselves any justice at all. I don't think it was, even looking back on the game, it just didn't look like us at all on the day. We're extremely disappointed. Extremely disappointed.
What do you get up to the last couple of days then? Has there been a collective training session? Has there been a couple of chats, or what is the process after a defeat like that?
Yeah, well, look, at the game was played Saturday night, so we took Sunday off. We trained yesterday evening. And I suppose since Saturday night, I think for me anyway, the main thing, I was just eager to get back training. I wanted to get back in with the lads to have a few conversations. Look, last night, some honesty was expressed as well, and it was great to get that. Obviously there's a small breakdown of your game and I suppose team collectively, but we didn't dive too much into the analysis of the game yet. We just wanted to, I suppose, gather our thoughts a little bit more of last night. And look, the main thing was to just get back training and get back in the field and get ready for the next day, because I suppose at the moment now we're just keen to try and put things right.
Those honest conversations, is there a bit of honesty that comes out immediately on Saturday night? Because I know Davy obviously held nothing back when he did his media interviews afterwards. He was unforgiving, to say the least, in what he said afterwards. Is he like that in the dressing room as well?
Yeah, he was. Look, he was very passionate about it. He was honest, very vocal. And look, I know he mentioned in his interview that he was speaking on behalf of us all, which we all believe it was justified, and we all felt the very same. It was, like I said, we let ourselves down, we let Davy down, we let the extra people down. We didn't perform like we can, and on the night, I just don't think there was. We just didn't, as individuals, hurl to our capabilities, and it was a big fall for us, So But look at he did, obviously, in the dressing room after, he expressed the same type of feelings to us. And we needed that too, because we were all hurting. We were all feeling pretty low after the game, and look, there's no better man than Davy to try and lift you afterwards, and obviously share his emotion too.
I'm sure. Has there been other moments like this in your intercounty career where you have, as you say, not hurled to your capabilities? Because that was the real noticeable thing on Saturday, is that Galway aren't that much better than Wexford, as the final scoreline showed. Has there been previous moments where you've come off a pitch and realised that you need to do something outside of the way you're actually playing hurling to try and get yourself to a level where you're getting the most out of yourself, I suppose?
I think it was just on the night. It was about getting the mindset right, and I just think we probably weren't in the right frame of mind for whatever reason that might have been. Davy expressed it after the game. We didn't fight hard enough. I suppose we did create certain opportunities for ourselves, maybe some goal chances that we didn't take. That probably would have made the scoreline a little bit different, but still, we're going back to the performances on both sides of each team. On Saturday night, Galway were much the better team. They looked like they were hungrier. They wanted more. They were getting to the breaks faster. They were winning most of the 50-50 battles, and we just didn't seem to be at the races for 3/4 of the game. First 20 minutes we were pretty okay with. Probably still didn't play overly well. We just hung on in there. But after they went 3 points ahead and then got the goal to go 6 points ahead was a bit of a, I suppose, how can I say? It was just a kind of a nail, and it was just tough to accept that they got a kind of goal the way they did. Like it was a scrappy goal, and it was a blow for us. I'm not saying that's when we dropped our heads, because even at half time in the dressing room, we sat down, we assessed it, and we said we're capable of pulling it back here. We got out into the field, and again we kind of started off, I suppose, that second half the way we ended the first half, and it just nothing really seemed to flow for us at all. And it was just extremely disappointing at the end.
And also, what kind of made this unexpected, really, from a Wexford perspective, is that we've seen that team fight back in games before. Like that, you have the information there. Like, I presume even if you look at the All-Ireland semi-final last year against Tipperary, that game swung in both ways so drastically. There was a fight back in that game from Wexford. Is it just about now trying to review that information that you already have, whatever it may be, the triggers that you have, the mental picks that you have going, to be able to get back to a level where you were at mentally, I guess, at the end of last year's championship?
It is, yeah. That would be part of the process. At the end of the day, we didn't seem to have that same fire in our belly throughout the game. Like I said, we weren't getting to the breaks quick enough. We weren't putting in big tackles. We weren't turning over the ball as often. Like Galway outworked us. And usually, whatever team works the hardest wins the game. And on that particular night, Galway worked harder than what we did, and we're not hiding from that. We know that was the case, and obviously there were some individual performances on the Galway end that on the night were very good, and we found it hard to cope with that. But look at it's ultimately, end of the day, we did not fight hard enough for what we've shown to be able to do in the past, I suppose. Even though if we're behind or not. We always pride ourselves on going down swinging.
What was your initial reaction to getting a bye into qualifiers? Is a game next weekend possibly what you would have wanted?
For some guys, it would have been. I think like some probably wouldn't have minded. I particularly look at happy enough that suppose you get an extra week to prepare. After a defeat like that in performance, sometimes only having a window of 7 or 8 days might not be enough to kind of regroup, refocus. So I'd be enough just to get the extra week, but in saying that, if we'd have been drawn to play this weekend, I also wouldn't have minded, because as a competitor, the first thing you want to do is get back into the field and get going again, and maybe get a game under your belt. But look at it, it's only an extra 7 or 8 days to try and turn it around.
How good do you guys feel on a physical level then? Because obviously you've gone through the mentality of it all quite well there. Physically, a lot of the hurling teams taking to the field at the moment look in incredible shape. It looks like the 7 months off have been used to bulk up in a lot of cases. You came up against a Galway team that are notorious for their physicality on Saturday night as well. Was that a particular focus from your perspective and from your team's perspective to actually get bigger and get stronger, I guess, over the course of the pandemic?
I don't think it was an extreme focus of ours. No. I can imagine there's a lot of guys had a lot of time throughout the year to maybe work on things that they feel they needed to work on, and if that was getting bigger or getting faster, stronger, whatever it may have been, a lot of our lads probably did reach their goals. But no, look at it. I think we pride ourselves on, or look at ourselves at being, I suppose, moving the ball efficiently and being, I suppose, runners more than anything. And yeah, I suppose look at on the night. Like I mentioned just earlier, winter hurling is going to obviously, I suppose, make the game a little bit slower, and the more physical teams are going to be a little bit more dominant, I suppose, in this time of the year.
Do you feel that you can match the big teams physically then? Having said that, did you feel like Galway had an edge in that department at all on Saturday?
I feel that they probably did, but I'm probably, the fact that when you're assessing it now, you're probably thinking we almost allowed them to be that.
Sure.
I don't think we, like I said again, we did not approach the game the right way, just mentally. We probably weren't putting in the big tackles, and we weren't getting to the breaks quick enough and getting numbers into the breaks. Yeah, I just think that's always Galway's forte, to be physical and play hurling. And I suppose we did not execute our game plan at all well enough, and didn't match them then for their physicality. And it's not saying that we can't. It's just on the night, I don't think we did.
Just on some of the bigger picture stuff then, Lee, like it may be a bad week to be talking about last year, and I know I've mentioned the Tipperary semi-final already, but coming into this season, does the conclusion to last year, is it something that, is it like a ghost that you want to exercise at some point in the future, or does it actually become a source of confidence for you that you see Tipperary go on to win the All-Ireland last year, and you have a case to be made that actually you can beat them on a given day? How did you view that game last year and the way your championship last year ended?
Yeah, well, look, at hurling can be funny that way. You can be beaten by a team, but walk away from the game knowing you have, like, I suppose, in a way, we can compete with them, or we have the beatings of them.
Yeah.
But it's something that you have to, in hurling, in the past is the past. You have to leave it there, and if you're going to dwell too much on it, you're going to get caught. And like, I suppose that game against Tipperary last year, the only thing that it proves is that that you're able to compete at the top level. But at the end of the day, it still takes an awful lot to get over the line, and then to go on the next day like Tipperary did, and actually win Liam McCarthy. Look, for us, obviously, we want to be getting back to the same standards that we've had previous. And I know on Saturday night we just did not reach those standards at all. A major part of our plan is our work ethic, and our I suppose just the fact that we compete throughout the 70 minutes of a game, 75 minutes of a game, and we don't give up. And on Saturday night we did not do that.
You've got the sound of a man who actually can't wait to go back out onto the pitch immediately and put right what went wrong on Saturday. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, like immediately after the game, obviously you're hurt, you're disappointed. Like I said earlier, we didn't anticipate that at all. Like, no team does, but we expect more of ourselves. And I suppose after Saturday night, once I got home and I got a bit of sleep and I woke up Sunday, all I wanted to do was get back into the field and get back training with the lads and get ready for the next day to try and, just try and put it right and just to fulfill our own standards. Just to get things to, like, we know ourselves as the last number of years that we're just we'd be fighters, and we'd fight till the end. And I know we didn't do that, so we're very disappointed with ourselves for that, and we just want to get back into the field and like try and put it right.
And are you focusing most of your attention on hurling at the moment as well? Do you have many distractions going on in your life?
No, at the moment it's just focusing on what we're doing now at this time of the year is championship. You're in championship mode, and yeah, there's not a whole lot that's going on bar the hurling.
Well, Lee, best of luck with whoever it is that you're playing on Saturday or Sunday week. It's great that there is a back door into hurling as well, and that there is a second chance. Just to remember that Lee Chin has been hitting the campaign trail this week as part of Now TV's Hurl versus Hurley campaign, which will see the nation vote on what is the definitive term for the hurler's most prized possession. So the result of the poll is going to be revealed on November 12th. And go on to hurleyvhurley.com, where you can vote right now. Lee Chin is telling you to vote for Hurl. Davy is telling you to vote for Hurl as well, as is Brian Cody. So they got a strong old team. Listen, Lee, thanks a million. I know it's been a tough couple of days. Thanks a million for taking the call.